I should say that I was the lucky one. And if I look at the partnerships that we joined, I certainly felt that I was very privileged to be paired with Otto. And this is this beautiful lady standing next to me. If I can go to that photograph, isn't she stunning? I've said there, Otto, our captain and our hero, and certainly my experience with regard to our partnership and what I have experienced at the school, that our school principals and probably all educators for that matter are modern life heroes. And certainly I saw that in Otto as well. She is the principal of our school. You can see at the back there, Umqhele Comprehensive School, and she will be introducing the school to you.
It is an honor to represent our partners, what we went through in 2016, the milestones that we experienced. And I'm the Chief Accounting Officer of Umqhele Comprehensive School, which is in Ivory Park in Midrand. It's surrounded by industrial areas like Olifantsfontein, Spartan, and Midrand. But we're right in the middle of Ivory Park. Sometimes you want to go there, if you don't have a GPS, you're in trouble. You might end up in some of the shacks. Umqhele Comprehensive School, we're having 1,899 learners. It's a high school. We were also offering technical subjects. And we had 204 grade 12 last year, 369 grade 11s, 426 grade 10, 321 grade 9s, and 487 grade 8. So it's quite a big number. And in total, the staff, the CS, meaning the educators, it's 68 in total. And with 4 administrators and 10 ground staff. Our school is the only school that has a vast ground. We can even have an Olympic swimming pool. But unfortunately, due to the socio-economic challenges that the school is faced with, we are unable. Most of the learners come from impoverished families. Most of the parents are unemployable because they are illiterate or not educated. And the area has a lot of people from outside the borders of South Africa. And we have a serious learning barrier of our learners. Because at home, they speak Portuguese, they speak Shona, and at school, home language, it's Sepedi, which is not Sotho, Zulu, Tsonga, and Xhosa. And the language of instruction is English. So can you imagine a child when they arrive at school? It's English, and a Tsonga from Limpopo. And at home, they speak Shona and Portuguese. So that learner eventually experience learning barriers. So we end up with learners who are not coping academically. But as a leader, as a mother, as a pastoral care, we ensure that these learners, we break those barriers for them. And we've got quite a lot of stakeholders that are assisting us. We've got African Bank is assisting us, identifying learners who are capable academically, and they've got mentors are mentoring them. We've got ADT, the response company, that is offering ICT lessons on Wednesdays for grade 10, 11, and 12. And with the grade 12s, when they leave school, they take them for internships, and they also award them some bursaries for those who are doing well. And with Ernst here, He has helped me a lot. For the first time when they came to school with Rosemary, I looked at him and said, I don't know. This tall man, I'm so short, I don't know whether we're going to work as teams. But you know, God sometimes do his things his own way. We related so well. We discussed our own personal issues, family, and also work. And I've learned a lot from him also. That sometimes you think that the corporate world, everything, it's smooth. And unfortunately, it is not. So there is a lot that I've learned from him. And then with our school, let me go back. I have qualified educators. We have educators amongst our midst. Some of you have been educators. And then some of them, or some of us, when impart the knowledge to the learners, we don't impart it in such a way that the learners do understand. The number of learners that we have in class, the teacher-pupil ratio, it makes our educators' morale to go down because they need to give those learners individual attention. Due to the high numbers, it's unfortunate we have to ensure that each and every African child gets the best education. And as an accounting officer of the school, I ensure that our educators, whatever challenges they come across, I always tell them that, you know what, let's just come across those challenges and walk tall. Because whether we like it or not, there are problems in this country and they cannot be resolved overnight. And these children, whether we like it or not, we need to give them the necessary support in order for them to be successful, responsible adults in future. And I always say, our children need to be financially independent. I always advise them that, you know what, irrespective of the background that they're coming from, education is the only solution that can break the chains of poverty. I always say to them, I don't want to see any of you in 5 years' time when you leave this high school to go and wake up in the morning, join the queues to go and receive your social grant. Go and stand on the queues as early as 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock to go and register for an RDP house. The RDP house, the history is going to stop with your parents. With you, you're going to ensure that you're going to build yourself a best house, your dream house, and you can make it. And they can only make it through what? Through education. Education is the only solution. Our learners, since they are exposed to a lot of social negative aspects, since we come from a township which is surrounded by informal settlements, due to poverty, they become victims of what we call in township the blessers. We call them blessers because they say these old men, they are blessing these kids. And we always tell them that, guys, whether you like it or not, forget about these blessers. And our girl learners, some of them, they get pregnant. Some of them, they are infected with HIV and AIDS. So, as a mother, as a school accounting officer, as a life orientation educator, I always motivate them that, you know what, irrespective of the challenges, education comes first. Forget about the material things. They come and go. The facilities. We have a mortar and brick school, 47 classrooms, and we have 15 classrooms, what we usually call the mobile classrooms. And unfortunately, they are so dilapidated. You escalate to the Department of Education. Even now, I'm still waiting for them to come and replace that. Those mobile classrooms, our kids are calling them Marikana, because you go there, they are not safe. and secured for use. At any given time, if they can collapse, the very same Department of Education is going to hold me accountable. So we are trying by all means to ensure that in that Marikana, what you call, but this says it's not more Marikana, it's going to be Mauritius. Yeah. It's going to be Mauritius for them. So there is progress that is taking place. And then education resources. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, that most high schools in townships, the MEC for Education has come with the ICT project whereby smart boards have been installed in our school. Teachers have been trained to workshop. Even from last week, there's been training going on. That learners grade 12s are being given the tablets to use so that they'll be able to study more resources. And in those tablets, the e-learning content has been downloaded in that. But with the type of learners that we have, those gadgets are new to them. So they want to experiment, see what it is, that gadget. Instead of concentrating on the academic side, they concentrate on the social media. So that's another disadvantage. But we're trying by all means as a school, talk to the parents, motivate the parents so that they limit the usage of social media on those gadgets. And with parents, as I've stated that most of our parents are unemployable because of lack of skills, lack of education. And when we invite parents, the only time they come is when there is an incentive for them. An incentive of what? There is food. Then they will have 99% turnout of the parents. And if there is nothing, the attendance in meetings, the attendance in support of their children, it is very poor. So it is not very easy to hit schools like Umqhele in Ivory Park. And our matric pass rate, I'm disappointed. Our target was 90%. But unfortunately, I'm at 63. The MEC is inviting me very soon in one of his meetings to account why have those learners failed. And it's unfortunate that as principals, you are accountable for each and every mistake that is happening in our schools. I'm accountable in the drop of the matric results. And they forget that we do the best in schools. But the minute the learners leave the school premises, they are now faced with another planet. But we had our strategies for 2017. All those learners who failed maths and science in 2016 in grade 11, they've been progressed and they will be modularized. Modularization means that they'll only write only those subjects that they are competent with. So this year, I'm expecting 100%. If I don't get 100%, I'm resigning with immediate effect. Colleagues, thank you very much. Over to you, Ernest.
Otto, thank you very much for that. When we started with the program, being the only high school in the circle, we tried to establish what would be the thing that we would make the biggest impact. Now, as you see, the matric pass rate is obviously something that gets measured by the Department of Education, and that also tells you how effective you are if the kids finish off matric. So we went through a process of trying to understand what are all those things that influence the pass rate, and then we went further and we then decided, based on the information that came from Otto and the school management team, that the educators should be our area of focus. As she has said, it is a school that it's a technical school. Technical skills of educators are not that easy to come by. And the main limiting factor that we identified was their ability to get good and qualified maths and science teachers. And just to run through those issues, it indicated that there was a morale issue. The number of educators at the school was a problem. They were short. Subject knowledge was an issue. Quality of the teachers was also identified as a shortcoming. And then obviously the lack of maths and science teachers. Maybe just to speed up a little bit, Otto, this is actually your part with regard to our activities. We've got 2 more slides. If you could maybe just run through that quickly without explaining too much of what we did.
Okay. Last year we didn't have a deputy principal, but he was appointed late at the end of the year. At least we are having 2 deputies this year. So a load of work has been offloaded from our shoulders. And we also gained 3 teacher positions for maths and science. And they are very young, qualified educators, and they are doing well for the school. And then with the results of maths and science, improved in science more especially, because even though we got 56% in science. And then there is what we call MST, which is Maths, Science and Technology. There are those workshops that have been organized by the Department of Education. Teachers need to attend that, and 13 of our educators are attending that on Saturdays. Then there is that ICT workshop, which is information communication technology by all staff members, since smart boards have been installed in schools, so teachers need to be developed in that skill. And then the smart boards have been installed in grade 12 classes, and for this year also in grade 11 classes. 11 classes of grade 11s have been installed with those smart boards. And additional classes were offered by teachers to ensure that the learners are able to grasp what has been taught, and also to give learners that individual attention. The personal development, as a result of the training that was being offered by the PFP program, personally, I'm being developed, to be honest. All those workshops that we have attended, I'm not going to talk a lot because we're running out of time. And there was also a marked increase in work ethics of the educators due to those workshops that have been initiated by PFP, and also through the interactions with our partners. There's a lot that I've learned, and also the SMT were also invited by my partner here to share some of the ideas of how to improve our work ethics and also our morale, to improve the morale of the teachers. And myself as a principal and the deputy in the SMT, our focus was to ensure that all the learners, all the educators, when they come to the school premises, they are having positive and they are motivated in order for them to deliver positively. And then teachers were prepared to spend most of their time after normal teaching hours in order for them to prepare, in order for them to socialize, to share their ideas, to share the curriculum issues, their challenges, their strengths, and also their weaknesses. And then the matric results were stabilized in 2016 so that we should provide a platform for the future. So even in 2016, we need to tighten up the gaps in order for us to reach our target.
Right. When I was getting involved in this program, I thought this is quite easy. You know, a school is a business. Frina, my wife, is also a teacher, and we had 3 kids that went through school, so I know how a school works. And then I arrive here at the school. It's surrounded by an informal settlement mostly, and then you get confronted with things that you never expected. I'm not going to elaborate, but I think certainly my own growth was very much impacted because of that. It showed me a different part of life, a different part of society, which when you grow up and you live in a privileged society, you don't see. So to me, I'm very thankful that I had that experience. It made me a much better person. Thank you very much. Thank you.